Okay, so I'm here in Queenstown. Look at this, beautiful Queenstown. And I have the craziest story to share with you. So right here, I'm on the wharf, right? So right here, down there in the lake, rests an iPhone that was dropped in there by this girl. And I know this because she got me to help her retrieve her iPhone from this lake, from Lake Wakatipu here in Queenstown, New Zealand. And basically the story goes was that I was over there busking, right? I was over there busking, playing the piano, and she'd walked by like earlier and like was like, oh, that's awesome, beautiful music, with some friends or something like that. And I thought nothing of it. But then she came back later, like an hour later, when I was packing up. It was quite dark. It was around about this darkness, maybe a bit darker. And she was coming to me and she was like, I'm in a lot of trouble. Can you please help me? And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, of course. Like, what do you need help with? And she was saying, I've lost my phone in the lake. Like, I dropped my phone in the lake, literally right here. And I'm like, okay, what do you need me to help you get it or something? And she's like, yeah, can you please try get it for me? And I'm like, I was like, okay, look, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. I felt like, she needed help. She explained that her friends had the key to her hotel room and she'd lost them, and she couldn't contact them because it was on her phone or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll help you out. And so literally right here, I took off my clothes, stripped down to my undies, and dived into the lake right here. And this is an alpine lake, right? This is right in the mountains, so it was freezing cold. And as well with like these mountain lakes, like the shore is right there, but it gets so deep so quickly, and that's what you don't really realize. Like I'm only like a couple of, I don't know how many, I can't measure distance to save my life. Basically from here to here, like I'm only this way from the shore. And so I thought in my head, like, okay, it's just a short dive down. And so, in my undies, I dived down into this lake here to retrieve this girl's phone. And I was like, I was frantic because suddenly, you dive into this freezing cold lake and it's like, it's a shock to the system. And maybe I was a fool for doing this, but, I felt like I wanted to help this poor girl out. And anyway, I was swimming frantically down and, I just couldn't get to the bottom no matter how hard I tried. I was really trying to go for it, and then I came back up to the top for a breath. And at this point, I was like, okay, I can deal with this. It's not too cold. So she's like, oh, did you get it? And I'm like, no, I couldn't even get to the bottom. And so I tried again. I dove down, really went for it, and I just could not reach the bottom. By the way, it was pitch black down there. Like literally, you can see this lake right here, and I could not find this phone, and I tried a third time and I couldn't get to the bottom. And so that phone is still there, like it's still there. And so I came up and I was like completely soaking wet and in my undies, and Queenstown was like this, people are just like milling about, and there I was with no towel or anything, freezing cold. I couldn't tolerate the lake anymore. I could only do 3 dives. And by the way, you're probably thinking, you're so stupid. Yeah, that was stupid. But, I felt like I wanted to help her out. I couldn't help her out. So, yeah, that's that story. And I was like, I had to, it's one of those situations where you have to put your clothes on when you're completely wet after not drying yourself after a towel. And so I went home cold and wet, feeling a little bit disappointed because I couldn't help this poor girl. And so, yeah, that's that story. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Good luck, and I'll see you.